Alright, YouTube, it's Shadow King Nazru, and I just got back from watching Avengers Infinity War. Yeah, you probably can't see it from. Yeah, now you can. Ah. So, yeah, I know I'm late to the party, but the reason why I didn't see it back when it was early released was because, well, I was saving my money for Deadpool, and by the time I got enough money, I decided to, wait until, uh, wait until Father's Day. By the way, Happy Father's Day to everybody. So anyway, I waited for Father's Day because my dad wanted to go see Avengers 3 and I wanted to go see Deadpool 2. So we just agreed, decided to wait it there, and that'd be his Father's Day gift. Now, this is going to go a bit into spoilers, but considering that a lot of people have seen this movie already, it's not that big of a deal. So anyway, the villain Thanos is gathering the Infinity Stones, which has been established throughout the previous Marvel films, in order to gain the powers of a god and wipe out half of all living things throughout the universe. And it's up to the Avengers and the Guardians of the Galaxy to stop him. And that's pretty much the whole plot. Um, right off the bat, I'm gonna say this movie wasn't bad. It was definitely better than Avengers 2. That said, I don't think it was as good as everybody was proclaiming it was to be. Neither did my dad. It's definitely one of the better Marvel films. Uh, where the worst Marvel films end up either being rather a chore to get through or just completely mediocre. I say this was I wouldn't, but I also wouldn't say it's one of the best films, like Captain America: Winter Soldier, or things like that. Uh, I will get into positives. Thanos, I really did like. He was the best part of the film. They did change his motivations, where he's just killing half the universe to maintain a cosmic balance so that everybody can survive. Whereas in the comics, he was going to kill everybody in order to win the affection of the female incarnation of death. I would have liked that they mixed it a little bit more. Maybe, like, say that death inspired him to think like this, and that would have been the marriage of between what Kevin Feige wanted to do with Thanos and what the comics had established. Uh, the action was pretty good. Um, they did establish that Thanos was a good threat, especially with him taking out the Hulk early. Though that adds to well, I'm gonna say that part for my cons. Uh, I did like that everybody had a good chunk of screen time for their roles. I didn't feel like anybody wasn't necessary. You felt like this was all coming full circle. I did like that there were some stakes. I did also. I mean, a lot of people died. A lot of people had some sacrifices to this, and I did like that it ended differently. This wasn't gonna be like another Marvel movie that everything just went back to the status quo and everything's all lucky, go happy, go lucky. This, if you don't, uh, I'm pretty sure everybody knows about the ending. Is that ultimately Thanos wins? He wipes out half of life, and that's pretty much it. So until we go to part two. First some negatives. Um, the I think what held this movie back the most was the humor, which has been a common thing about uh about these Marvel films that they have some issues balancing humor and tone of the scenes, and that was not more apparent than with the Guardians of the Galaxy. Now, anybody who's watched my videos knows that I do not care for the Guardians of the Galaxy, whether it be their comic version, movie version, video game version, or TV version, whatever. I've always just been indifferent to them. I just thought their characters were rather or just things I've already seen a billion times before. Just came off generic, or sometimes very annoying. Especially Star-Lord, I found him to be excruciatingly annoying. There was not one scene where I actually liked him. Uh, I mean, the closest one I came to liking was like Gamora because she was the serious one in trying to stop Thanos, and she ends up dying trying to stop him. And add a little bit to Thanos' character. He's not just some one-dimensional villain who's doing this for the sake of evil. He's got a purpose that's actually relatable. But other than that, they just made so many damn jokes that I ended up hating Guardians. I actually went from being indifferent towards Guardians of the Galaxy, and now I hate them. I don't ever want to see the Guardians of the Galaxy again. I'm so glad that Thanos erased it from existence. I clapped in the theater when they were erased from existence. Yeah, that make me seem like an asshole, but if you just went through like an entire movie, paid $40 to watch the movie, and you had to slog through people that you were just found extremely annoying, would you not feel some measure of joy that they were finally gone? I'm just saying, you keep that in mind. Uh, Another thing I felt the movie had a problem with was some things were a little bit all over the place. It's still most the structure is still mostly intact, but it still kind of felt too bloated for its in some parts. Uh, a lot of people also, when I was watching some videos of, they said that they had a problem with the fight between uh, Black Panther's female second in command, who's played by the girl who plays Michonne, uh, Black Widow, and Scarlet Witch. I think she was also there. All fighting a female general of Thanos. And they think they had a problem because it was like another girl power feminist moment. I didn't have I didn't have too much problem with it. It was just just a bunch of girls fighting each other. It didn't demean any man, so I didn't think it was like a pro-feminist agenda moment, like I kind of felt there was with Black Panther. Um, so I wouldn't go agree with that argument. Um, what else? What else? Um, Tom, Tom Holland's Spider-Man. Um, shit. I can't really talk about this without going into some of my thoughts about Spider-Man: Homecoming. When I first watched it, I thought it was good, but not as good as like the Amazing Spider-Man movies. I also think Andrew Garfield was a better overall Spider-Man and Peter Parker than Tom Holland, but definitely Tom Holland's better than Tobey Maguire. It's just that I had a problem with the hero worship that he had with Tony Stark. I felt there was a little bit too much of that, and he's not responsible for the gadgets that Spider-Man was known for making himself, which kind of undercuts Spider-Man's intelligence, just so they can make it more streamlined with Tony Stark, and I suppose make it easier to accept for the audience, even though if they can accept a person with a guy bitten by a radioactive spider and gets superpower, they can easily buy that they're a genius. Uh, but I just, I just don't buy him as Peter Parker. I just don't buy him as Peter Parker. I mean, I mean, he's still making the wisecracks, but he just doesn't have that air of confidence and cockiness that Peter Parker gained when he became Spider-Man. I mean, not just while he was in the costume. It was more of a progression where he was more of an introvert in the comics, and he was silently vengeful because of the people who bullied him. But as he grew up with the powers, he became more mature. He became more confident. Came into his own. I don't feel that with Tom Holland. Uh, and yeah, that's part of the reason why looking back with Spider-Man: Homecoming, it really hasn't aged well with me. Yeah. Um, and yeah, another problem I had was with the Hulk. I mean, I know that they were trying to set up that Thanos was a big threat, so they had to take down the heavy hitter like the Hulk. But then he's just gone throughout the rest of the movie, and I know they probably weren't going to save him for like Infinity War Part Two, but I just would have liked more action with the Hulk and not him having him deal with like some PTSD from being beaten up badly by Thanos. I also hated how they undercut Mark Ruffalo as they had T'Challa's sister think of something clever that Bruce Banner should have thought of. Because he's like the third smartest person in the Marvel universe. I mean, at least the third smartest human in the Marvel universe. With the only one people smarter than him are Reed Richards and Hank Pym. And I'm just watching him. I hardly got that he was intelligent. I mean, especially when he started had his comedic parts. I mean, he just came off more of as a buffoon than anything else. Uh, and yeah, that's pretty much sums up all my thoughts. All in all, the movie's. I would still recommend watching it just to get the full closure of what the Marvel universe has been building up to in these movies. But I wouldn't say that it was the best superhero movie of all time. I'd still give that to either like Amazing Spider-Man 2 or Deadpool 2. But it's whether you watch that or Deadpool 2 or Incredibles 2, it's definitely a much preferable decision than watching Solo. Yep, that was all my thoughts on Avengers City War. Maybe the second part will be better. I'll catch you guys later.